My beloved child, this is the final warning I send into your life. A figure is drawing near, not knocking yet slipping into the smallest chambers of your soul. It carries no knife or flame, but wears a gentle garment and speaks sweetness enough to make you set down your guard. Let me rescue you before you yourself open the door to what will wound you. There are darknesses that do not arrive with storms, but with a familiar laugh. There are those who need not attack. They need only persuade you that they are harmless. And there are sweetnesses not born of goodwill, but fashioned to lull your soul into unwatchfulness. I see you have grown accustomed to that tender shade, the kind of darkness that knows how to smile, to speak kindly, to make you feel safe. You do not realize that at times the evil one need not scream. It only needs to make you stop suspecting, stop praying, stop keeping vigil. Comfort itself becomes the key that opens your soul to the subtlest invasion. You think you are being loved, but in truth you are being rocked to sleep in arms that are not mine. This familiar darkness is no stranger. It is the friend who once listened to your laments, the companion who once wept beside you. It does not come to harm you at once, but to take up space, quietly draining your trust, nudging you off the holy boundary. When truth is sugar-coated, the heart will easily receive falsehood as a kind of consolation. And then you no longer recognize who is holding your hand, God, or a spirit exploiting the name of love to lead you astray. I do not teach you to distrust all, but to discern. Not every smile is born of light, and not every word of comfort carries a good intent. You must learn to listen with a mind illumined to distinguish between sweetness that flows from mercy and sweetness designed to bind. The pretense of goodness is not as frightening as your believing it to be real. Once your guard is down, your heart becomes a battlefield where the holy boundary is blurred by your own easygoing kindness. Danger does not always approach from afar. It often stands on your very threshold in the most familiar shape. A considerate message, a promise of help, a gaze that seems harmless, all may carry the seed of harm if your heart is given away too readily. Do not underestimate the threat that comes from those who once walked beside you, for at times it is they, the very ones you trusted, who become the breach through which peace departs. Familiarity does not guarantee safety, and outward goodwill does not always spring from a good heart. I want you to look deeper. Do not let sweetness trick you into thinking there is nothing to fear, for precisely when you feel safest, darkness finds its gentlest way in. There are things I would rather not say yet must, because your soul sleeps too soundly in a sweetness of its own making. You imagine danger only in strangers, harsh words or aggressive acts. Not so, my child. The truest danger knows how to dress itself in the familiar. It borrows the voice you once trusted, the eyes that once gave you ease, and at times even the blessing you once returned with a smile. I see you opening the door not because you are foolish, but because you believe that what is gentle cannot wound. Yet that very belief, when set upon the wrong one, becomes a slender blade slicing away the peace I engraved upon your soul. Do you not know evil rarely arrives in an ugly form? It is clever, subtle, and skilled at mimicking light. Like the serpent in Eden, it did not come to threaten but to converse. It did not strike Eve with venom, but with a soft question, a seeming care. Did God really say? A small doubt, a harmless suggestion, and the whole of humanity sank into the long night of sin. You see, the devil needs no shouting to topple a soul. It only needs to make you feel safe when you no longer listen to me, and that is its victory. I have watched many of my children fall, not because of tempests, but because of good people who know how to say what pleases the ear. They do not urge you to do evil. They simply tell you to follow your heart. They do not counsel you to deny me. They merely make you less strict about what I have taught. Slowly, my word in you grows bland, the light in you grows dim, and your borders blur. You think you are becoming free, but you are only taking one more step outside the house of grace. The greatest danger is not betrayal, but the normalization of darkness. My child, I do not come to make you suspicious of everyone. I want you to look deeper. Do not trust too quickly what makes you comfortable. Some promises of help conceal a hunger to possess. Some comforting embraces carry the scent of control. When you yield your boundaries, others will rewrite the law within your heart. I have given you an intuition, not for fear, but for recognition. When you feel unrest within, though your reason says all is well, it is. I tapping gently on your heart. Do not plug your ears. Do not brush it aside. Listen. Sometimes that small voice is the last fence keeping your soul from the abyss. You are still young in faith, so I will not rebuke you. But understand, this love does not mean an open door without limit. Every soul has a threshold and entry only for respect and sincerity. If someone uses care as a pretext to cross that boundary and you stay silent, you have handed them the right to wound you. Do not fear to keep a distance. Holiness does not lie in giving without condition, but in knowing when to stop, that you may remain within my peace. I have seen many holy children shattered because they could not say no to things that looked good. You believe that helping is beautiful, but if that help steals your prayer and robs your time with me, it has turned into a chain. Even good hearts can be exploited when you lack discernment. Some come to you in sincerity, and some come to borrow your light to cover their own shadow. Do not let compassion become a road by which sin slips in. Remember, wise mercy always walks with clear boundaries. And now look back. How many times have you been exhausted yet, tried to sustain a bond you couldn't bear to end? How many times have you forgiven without finding peace, only because you feared being called cold? My child, forgiveness opens the door to grace, but distance keeps a place for me to dwell within you. There are people you must release, not out of hatred, but so I may have room to heal. Distance is sometimes the purest form of love, the kind that knows both must stand apart to be illumined. The wise are not those who uncover every scheme, but those who know when to be silent and when to step back. I do not demand that you be on guard against all, but I want you to possess the eyes of faith, eyes that see the essence behind appearances. When you keep your heart not easily swept by counterfeit lights, you become the sentinel of the peace I have entrusted to you. For each time you keep watch, darkness loses one more chance to claim you. You ask me, how can I tell whether the one approaching is light or a familiar shadow? The answer is not in judgment, but in peace. When you are near someone and your heart grows restless, when their words tangle your mind, though outwardly sweet, that is my whisper, beware. Do not be afraid to step back, for stepping back is not defeat. It is making room for me to step forward and shield you. And then when you understand this, you will see that boundaries are not cold fences, but the outlines of true love. I want you to learn to love without losing yourself to give, while keeping the light within your heart. Danger often stands right at the threshold, but if you invite me to stand there with you, no darkness can cross. From here, I would lead you further to the place where faith is no longer only a feeling, but an action proven through time. For true love is not only to believe, but to choose whom to trust and how to trust. This is the way of a trust that is not blind. My beloved child, I know there lives in you a longing to believe, to lean on someone, to behold the goodness in others, for your soul, fashioned by me, in light, ever yearns for the light it recognizes in your neighbor. Yet I have also seen you many times ache because you placed your trust in the wrong place, believing because their words sounded true, because they seemed kind, because they held your hand when you were weak, while forgetting that trust cannot rest on easy feeling. That entrusting yourself is a gift and not a ticket handed freely to whoever knocks, and that when you trust blindly, you surrender not only your peace, but also give others the power to redefine your worth. I do not want you to live suspiciously, but I do want you to learn how to try your trust, for as gold is refined by fire, trust proves itself only across time, steadiness, and consistency. Someone may speak well and do you a favor, but virtue is not found in brief flashes of brilliance. It dwells in the repetition of the good. So look more to deeds than to words, more to the posture of a person when no one is watching than to their performance when they seek to impress. Do not believe quick promises, for hurried vows are forged to win favor rather than to keep faith. And do not accept kindness without roots, for counterfeit goodness lasts only as long as it is useful. Do you remember Peter, who swore he would never deny me, yet trembled at the crowing of a single rooster? I did not despise him, for I understand how easily a heart falters when it is not yet deep in true faith. And you see that through that very stumble, he learned that fidelity is not proved by promises, but by tears and return, and I did not withdraw my love from him, for I do not seek the never erring, but those who learn from their errors and grow in sincerity. Therefore, when you place your trust in someone, do not read them by a moment, but by the way they meet their failures. Many times I have seen you give your whole trust because you feared being alone. You longed to be understood, to have a shoulder to hear comfort. But if trust is built upon fear, it will collapse the moment the other can no longer carry the savior you imagined. For no one can be a steadfast shoulder forever, but me and you must recognize that trusting others is good only when the foundation of your trust rests first in me. Because when you know who holds your heart, you will not panic if someone lets it drop, since I am always the one who lifts it up. There are those you trusted who have wounded you, yet do not let this harden you. Do not bolt your heart because a trust was betrayed, for in doing so you allow the one who hurt you to go on ruling your emotions. I do not teach you to doubt, I teach you to discern, and the difference is this: doubt is born of fear, whereas discernment rises from peace. So quiet your heart enough to hear whether there is still light within you in that relationship. For if you must pretend to be happy or to be fine in order to keep a person you are no longer trusting, you are enduring, and true trust never demands that you lose yourself. I want to tell you another story of Abraham, who trusted me, even when I asked him for his only son. See, that was not blind faith, but tried and tempered trust. For Abraham believed, not because I offered what was pleasant, but though he did not understand, and though his heart bled, and when he raised the knife, I stayed his hand, not because I changed my mind, but because I had seen the clarity of his fidelity. And true trust does not require outcomes that bend to your will. It requires only that you remain faithful to the light, even when darkness gathers round. You must learn to look at people, as I do, with mercy that is not naive. When you notice someone who lies just to smooth things over or sweetens words to cover fault, understand that this is no small matter. For every little falsehood is a seed of a larger collapse, so do not keep silence before wrong out of fear of losing harmony. For trust built on fearful silence is not a trust that lasts. And let your kindness grow a backbone, able to say no when needed, and to step back when something rings false, not because you are cold, but because you choose to guard the truth I have sown within you. Often you say, I believe this person is good, while in truth you are saying, I want them to be good so they will not hurt me. Trust cannot rest on your wishes, but only upon reality, and you must learn to see into another's heart, not through moods, but through the light of the Holy Spirit. For if you find someone warm only in the spotlight, yet cold when no one cares, you have already glimpsed part of the truth, and if that truth saddens, you do not fear. For sorrow born of recognition is better than pleasure born of illusion. I teach you that to love does not mean to grant anyone free access to your heart merely because they seem friendly. Your heart is the dwelling where I abide, not a room for others to enter at will. So when you place your trust in someone, ask me, first, Lord, does this person carry your light? And if you sense even a small unrest, do not ignore it for a soul's wedding. Hesitation is sometimes a bell rung from the unseen, and never trade the peace I have given you for the sake of pleasing another. When you find yourself hurting because you trusted amiss, do not condemn yourself. It is precisely through such fractures that I may renew your faith. For I do not permit your disappointment to punish you, but to teach you how to choose love more wisely. And every wound stands as a reminder. Do not issue trust like blank paper, but etch it with wisdom, so that as you learn to trust with discernment, your trust becomes strong, pure, and fragrant with maturity. Then, when you have learned to set your trust in its rightful place, you will discover that peace is no longer a fragile thing to clutch, but a river that flows from fidelity. You will trust others, not because they are flawless, but because you know they too are walking in my light. And you will no longer fear betrayal, for you understand that every hurt rests within my hands, and nothing can take from you what I keep for you. Welcome, child. From trust that has been tried, you will learn to love without blindness, to help without being used, and to cherish without losing yourself. And that is when the boundaries within you take shape, not as walls that divide, but as a holy shield, guarding your soul from embraces that are sweet, yet feigned. And from this day, I will teach you this, that a boundary is a form of love that knows how to protect. My child, you have often thought that love means accepting everything, opening endlessly, yielding until you no longer recognize yourself. You are mistaken, little one, tender and well-intentioned as you are. For love is not a license for others to trample you in the name of goodness, nor a silence before what is wrong. And true love has a spine, a limit, a sacred boundary, not to separate but to safeguard, just as I set boundaries between day and night, sea and land, life and destruction. So when you set limits for others, you are not opposing them, you are acting according to my pattern. I know you fear that if you say enough, someone will leave. You fear being judged cold, ungrateful, unloving. But love was not made to make you wither, and if a relationship forces your soul to shrink, steals your laughter and dulls your prayer, it is no longer love, it is a binding while boundaries. Whisper gently, I still love, but I will not allow anyone to insult the light within me. And when you can say no in peace, you are practicing a mature love, loving while keeping your dignity, caring while preserving your light. I have watched many of my children lose themselves because they dared not keep their distance. They feared losing affection, being misunderstood, wounding others. Yet when you attempt to save everyone, you push yourself over the edge, for not everyone wants to be saved, and not everyone deserves the open door of your heart, and love is not sacrifice without measure, but the choosing of sacrifice in the right place, for the right person at the right time. If you keep giving until you are spent, it is no longer love, but self-destruction dressed in kindness. You often think silence is meekness and endurance is love, but I tell you, there is a silence that strengthens the dark. When you do not dare to say that is enough to one who exploits your kindness, you are teaching them that hurting you is permitted, and I do not ask you to be stone, I ask you to be strong for boundaries. Do not make you closed, they help you. Open in the right direction, and you may open your arms without letting anyone pull you off the path I have marked for you. Loving with wisdom, forgiving without allowing further harm. Learn to set healthy limits of time, of space, of mind. You need not appear wherever your name is called, nor nod at every request, and there are promises you have the right to refuse. If you know they will draw you away from peace, There are conversations you may end, if you know they will drive you into exhaustion, for you were not born to please everyone but to reflect my image, and I never have to pretend to be loved. So when you dare to stop you, live true to the image in which I made you. I know there are times you draw a boundary, and others are hurt. They say, "You have changed, grown cold, that you are not like before, and you must not grieve," for they do not yet understand that maturity teaches kindness to choose. And when you no longer allow others easy access to your peace, you have entered another tier of love, loving not to be accepted but to live rightly in the light. So let them speak and learn in time, while I see you, and I know your heart remains gentle. Only now you protect that gentleness with wisdom. Remember, boundaries are not a wall that divides, but a fence that keeps the garden from being trampled. With boundaries, the love within you will bloom, as it should, no longer naive, no longer raw with pain, no longer warped by fear, and boundaries help you discern who comes for true love and who comes seeking shelter for their darkness. So do not fear closing the door, for I am within guarding your light. And when you have learned to keep your heart, love will grow clearer. You will know how to step out of the whirl of toxic bonds, how to choose silence over futile debate, and how to recognize when to pray rather than to control. And you will understand that boundaries are not the period at the end of love, but the place where true love begins, the place where you love with wakefulness, and allow me to love the rest on your behalf. My child, from now on, when someone comes knocking at the door of your heart, pause for a moment and listen to see whether your peace is still with you. If peace has left you, that is when I am gently drawing your hand back. For love never steals away peace. When you set boundaries in charity, I will station my angels beside you, so that fence holds firm against every trespass. And when you have learned to love within the frame of wisdom, you will be ready to go farther into the deeper country of the soul, where every border is illumined by the Holy Spirit. This is the place I call spiritual discernment, where you do not move by feeling alone, but hear my voice within your heart, amid all the sweet pretenses and mingled counterfeits of the world. Beloved of mine, there are things your eyes judge bright while your heart feels heavy. There are people who speak only good, yet the peace within you ebbs away bit by bit. You do not understand why, so you dismiss it, soothing yourself that it is only fatigue, only sensitivity. But I tell you truly, this is not weakness. It is the warning bell I planted in your heart from the day you were born. That quiet unease, that indistinct yet persistent nudge, this is how I knock upon your heart. I do not speak with thunder or signs. I speak by the slightest trembling in your spirit, a place only the still can hear. You know the evil one never enters by what frightens you. He chooses the door that seems reasonable. He prefers to say things that sound right, yet lack a sliver of light. Just a sliver, like a grain of sand in a stream of crystal water, unseen by ordinary sight, yet known by the soul. Discernment is the grace that lets you notice that grain before it muddies the whole spring of peace. And child discernment is not suspicion, it is recognition. Not everyone has it, but anyone who will pray and live in truth can be given it. Long ago, Samuel heard my call and mistook it for his teacher's. He ran to Eli 3 times. "Did you call me, Master?" But Eli had not called. Only on the 3rd time, when Eli perceived it, did he say, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." Do you see, Samuel did not hear wrongly. He simply did not yet know from whom the voice came. So it is with your soul. How many times have I called you, and you thought it a passing feeling, an anxious "what if"? I do not blame you, for I know you are still learning to know my voice among 100,000 others. But child, one day when you stop running and dare to be still, you will hear clearly, I have been speaking all along. It is only that you were not yet quiet enough to listen. Spiritual discernment is not a talent. It is the habit of a soul bound to me. It comes from prayer, from honesty with yourself, and from bringing all things into the light. When you are confused, do not trust your feelings at once, and do not seek agreement from others before you ask me. Bring everything before me. Say it all, fear, doubt, and hope. I do not need polished prayers. I desire the truth in your heart, for only when you are honest can I breathe clarity into it. Discernment begins when you dare to look deep within without fear. Many ask me for blessing, but few ask me for the capacity to recognize true blessing. Discernment is the key that keeps you from mistaking what is good for what is from me. Not every good thing comes from me. Many good things are sweet snares that draw you from the source of light. A reasonable invitation, a promising opportunity, a kind person. Any of these may be genuine or only a veil. I want you to ask, Lord, does this bring real peace? If the answer within you is silence, if peace withdraws, then slow your steps. For my silence is sometimes the loudest warning. You ask me, how do I know which voice is mine, which is emotion, and which is the world? The answer lies in three things: my word, prayer, and the wise. When you read my word, your heart is recalibrated. When you pray, your mind grows quiet. And when you seek those who have long lived in the light, you will hear truth, unwatered by emotion. Do not discern alone in isolation, for isolation is where the darkness speaks the loudest. Let my light pass through my word, through people of faith, and through the very peace I have set within you. I have seen many souls collapse simply because they trusted what is easy to hear. The evil one has never hated faith. He only seeks to distort it with haste and pride. He makes you think, I hear God, when in fact you hear your own heart crying. True discernment always walks with humility. The humble will always say, Lord, if this is not your will, please close the door. The proud will say, if this is not your will, I still want to try. Do you see? The difference is surrender. When you dare to stop, you are stronger than when you press on blindly. There are times I let you feel restless, not to make you afraid, but to help you see that your soul is being quietly stolen. A relationship, a habit, a word, all can become cracks where the dark seeps in. Whenever you find yourself pretending at peace, that is a sign I am knocking. When you hear within a whisper, stop, do not wait until everything is lost to turn back. For some calls sound only once, and if you go too far, you will no longer hear them clearly. Learn to keep peace as the compass of your soul. When peace remains, walk on. When peace departs, stop. Peace never lies to you. It is the truest voice I have placed within you, not loud, not urgent, only as gentle as breath. But if you live too hurriedly, you will not hear it. Therefore, at times I must halt you by pain, not because I wish you to suffer, but because I know only the stillness after tears will make you truly listen. Do you remember Elijah? When he hid in the cave in fear, he waited to hear me. Before him came a mighty wind, then an earthquake, then fire, but I was not in them. At last came a low whispering breeze, and he covered his face knowing I was there. My voice is never noisy, yet the wakeful soul will always recognize it. That is discernment, the capacity to recognize my presence in what is small, not in what is showy and loud. When you learn to listen, you will no longer be confused between true and false, for you will have learned to see with my eyes. You will not hastily trust the eloquent, nor be swayed by what seems reasonable. You will begin to sense what the world calls intuition, which in truth is the Holy Spirit at work in you. And when the Spirit speaks, you will no longer need many reasons, only obedience. For obedience in the light is always safer than reasoning in the dark. Discernment is the art of a mature soul. It does not make you suspicious. It settles you more deeply in truth. When you know how to stop at the right time, to step forward in the right direction, to choose silence when words are unnecessary, you are walking with me. And when you walk with me, no darkness is strong enough to deceive you for long. My beloved, I know the journey of discernment is not easy. There will be days you feel directionless, nights when you are unsure whether it is my voice or your own. But do not be afraid. So long as you keep the desire to hear me, I will not let you stray. What matters is not how many times you misheard, but that you still desire to listen. And I promise whoever longs to hear will hear more clearly with each day. When you have learned discernment, you will no longer live in fear, but in the agency of peace. You will recognize that every truth I show you, no matter how painful, is for freedom. From now on, you need not hide from the dark, for you carry light within. And as that light grows, it will lead you to what I most want to teach. Act in due time to guard your peace. Do not let delay become the net of the dark. My child, there are warnings I have given and signs I have set before you, yet you still hesitate, still ask for another confirmation, still want to wait and see. You do not realize that every moment of delay gives the dark permission to root itself deeper in your soul. Some evils need no force. They only need your continued silence. I do not ask you to be a hero. I invite you to something simple: rise. For only when you rise can grace begin to work. Delay is the soft blanket of the dark. It does not hurt you at once, but little by little it drains your life. Remember, peace does not defend itself. You must choose to keep it. I see you many times knowing well that a relationship has harmed you. A habit has carried you far from me. Yet you say, I'm not ready. Do not let not ready become a disguise for fear. When I call you out of your comfort, I do not require strength from you, only obedience. For as you step forward trembling, I will place my hand beneath your feet. Trust me, some doors open only when you consent to leave the old one behind. You cannot both cling to peace and cling to what is robbing it from you. Do you remember Abraham? When I told him to leave his homeland, he did not know where he was going. He had no map, no plan, only a word. Go to the land I will show you. And he went. In that going, I made him father of many nations. Do you see? To follow the call does not require full clarity, only a true heart. When I say step out, it is not a punitive command, but an invitation back to peace. For though your surroundings may change, what I truly desire is to change the place of your soul from the ground of fear to the shelter of my care. Some of my children say, I keep praying and nothing changes. Yet I see that what does not change is not the circumstance, but you. You keep praying, yet still clutch what I have asked you to release. You ask me for peace, yet keep conversing with the one who shattered your peace. You want me to lead, yet you keep steering toward your own way. My child, I cannot guide a soul that refuses to move. The miracle comes only when you begin to walk. True faith is always joined to action. Rise. Do not wait until you feel strong enough, for real strength comes after obedience. You know, when Judas rose from the table to carry out his plan of betrayal, Scripture notes quietly, and it was night. Night not only outside but within him. Darkness does not fall by accident. It waits for you to take one more delaying step. So when you sense you are near the edge, do not ask me, are you sure? Turn back at once. Do not fear loss, for you will only lose what is not real. Whatever begins in me will not vanish when you choose to leave what is wrong. Timely action is how you prove that you trust me more than you trust your own feelings. I want you to know this leaving is not failure. It is a courageous form of faith. When you stand up and step out of arms that are sweet yet deceitful, I do not look at you with reproach. I smile because you have chosen peace over fear. People may call you cold. They will not understand. But I understand. I see your soul tremble as you let go. I know you are fighting, and I speak to you in the soft wind of the evening. Enough now, my child. I am here. Let me shelter you with my peace. True peace does not come from everything going smoothly, but from knowing you are in the right place in my arms. When you dare to act, you open a way for me to enter. When you decide to end what is toxic, I will begin what is new. When you pause, amid the chaos, I will whisper, "My peace I give to you." And you will understand that keeping peace is not avoidance, it is choosing the light even if it costs what you once cherished. Do not forget darkness also knows how to promise. It says just this once, it will be different. Don't make a fuss, but every time you believe it, your peace is torn a little more. Be decisive. Kindness does not mean letting wrong live one more day. Forgiveness does not mean permission to continue. Forgive and also leave. Love and also protect. For love cannot grow in polluted soil. I call you not to live hardened, but to live true. Peace is the mark of souls who walk in truth. Once you have risen, keep your steps within the light of prayer. Do not let the emptiness after leaving the old drive you to fill it in haste. Let me be that quiet space. Let me be the one you speak with each night, the place you come home to after weary days. Pray without ceasing, not to hear what you want, but to have your heart shaped to my will. When you are weak, ask for courage. When you are confused, ask for discernment. And when you fear losing, ask for the grace to rest in my sufficiency. You may see the other, the one you once loved, still cheerful after you have gone. You may see they suffer less than you imagined. Your heart may ache, but this is not failure. It is a sign that I am at work. For sometimes I let you see them happy on the outside, so you will not keep the illusion of returning. Forgive, but do not go back. Forgiveness opens the window to light, but returning to what wounded you shuts the door on peace. I do not demand that you hate. I teach you to guard the life within you. And when you step out of that familiar shadow, I will show you a wonder. Peace has never left you. It was waiting on the far side of your decisive door. When you choose, peace returns. When you release, grace begins to flow. When you rise, I draw near. This is the law of my love, a love that never coerces yet always waits. The familiar darkness, the sweetness that pretends the promises, scented with illusion, these will pass. One thing remains: your soul, if it still chooses me, will always find a way out. Then you will know that all these lessons were not to make you afraid of love, but to teach you to love with discernment, to trust with discrimination, and to live with a heart kept in holy peace. I speak to you with all love and deepest understanding, not to sow fear in you, but to open a path of clarity and peace. There are wounds in a human life that once born leave marks that never fade, so I desire that you recognize the signs before they touch you. Whenever unease rises in your heart, whenever a quiet voice in your mind urges you to stop, that is not weakness. It is the whisper of your soul, the warning I have sent to keep you from a misstep. This world holds many things that seem sweet, yet carry venom, many gentle words spoken by hearts full of schemes. Learn to see through surfaces, to listen with your heart, and not only your ears. Your intuition is a precious gift from me, a small lamp in the night, lighting a way your reason cannot always see. Do not dismiss fleeting promptings, for within them is guidance from above, an unseen map leading you back to peace. I know that on this journey you will sometimes doubt and think I am too strict, too cautious. But true love does not coddle, it protects. When a father or mother sees a child's hand reaching for hot coals, not even for a second can they stand by. So it is with me. I cannot watch you draw near the cliff without calling you back. You may not see the storm gathering, but I do. You may not hear the winds howl before the squall, but I hear it. And so I speak not to confine you, but to keep you whole, free, and able to smile without the burden of wounds that will not heal. Every soul is born with its own light, and so are you. Within you are the seeds of creativity, of compassion, of deep wisdom. But that light can shine only when you guard it from what would dim it. If you are near someone who leaves your soul unsettled, anxious, or drawn into the shadows of doubt and fear, you must stop. Do not let your goodness become a net for others to exploit. Do not let compassion become the chain that binds you. Some arrive radiant with sweet words, yet their aim is not to love but to possess. I want you to see this early, so you do not trade your peace for late tears. Along the road of life, there are turnings that seem harmless, yet lead to ravines. I have set signs for you not to make you suspicious of everything, but to teach you to listen and to watch. A look, a vague sensation, a nameless silence, each can be a reminder. When you learn to read the language of the universe, you will perceive that I am beside you in every breath and every passing breeze. You will see that every warning, every intuition, is a gift of love, not a shackle of fear. Do not forget, true wisdom does not come from books or bare experience alone, but from the harmony of mind and soul. I see farther and deeper, because my love for you is not limited by time or space. When you heed the call of that wisdom, you choose safety amid life's tangled temptations. You may not understand now, but one day looking back, you will give thanks that you answered it, the call of pure love and the unseen protection I set around you. This world offers countless roads, and people often chase false lights, forgetting the true light within. Do not be deceived by what merely glitters on the surface. Choose the path, even a small one, that brings rest to your soul. Choose those who let you be yourself, not those who demand you change to be loved. You are worthy of a love that is true, unconditional, and without deceit. And if you must walk alone for a while, do not be afraid. You are never truly alone. I remain beside you, quietly watching each step. Never take intuition lightly, for it is the voice of the deepest part of you, the breath I placed within you at your birth. It knows what the mind does not seize, what the eyes cannot. Learn to trust it as you trust your own breath. Each time you follow your intuition, you choose to live in the current of love and protection. Each time you ignore it, life will teach you more painfully through losses, wounds, and scars of the soul. I do not desire this for you. I want you to learn by awakening, not by hurt. There may be times when you feel adrift, uncertain of right and wrong. Then remember my words today. Do not chase the noise outside. Turn inward, where the voice of your own soul speaks. That is where I dwell. When you are still, you will hear me more clearly. When you are full of fear and doubt, my voice grows faint. Therefore, the first lesson is to keep your heart at peace. A quiet heart, a clear mind, the soul will know the way. Do not let the world's push and pull make you lose yourself. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are part of me, a spark within the endless ocean of love. This love does not demand or bargain. It only longs for you to live true to your goodness, far from whatever would stain that light. This is not a warning born of fear, but guidance born of love. For true love is never a chain. It is the wings that carry you over life's storms. Believe that everything I say today flows from boundless mercy. I do not want you to live in anxiety, nor do I want you blind. Between those extremes, only wakefulness brings real peace. When you learn to hear me in the subtle signs, you will no longer grope in the dark. You will walk with faith, with clarity, and with gratitude. One day when you have grown, you will understand that my words today were not given to imprison freedom, but to place in your hands the key to true freedom. Freedom not ruled by passing feelings or outside allure. You will see that my wisdom is not to display power, but to guard your soul from what would wound it. And when you have learned to love yourself rightly, you will no longer need warnings, for then you will have become the very wisdom I have long taught you to embrace. I say this finally, only so you may understand. You are always loved, protected, and guided. Wherever you go, however the world may change, my love is like a river that never runs dry, ever flowing toward you. Remember, peace is not found in avoiding every storm, but in knowing that when storms arise, I am still right beside you, holding you in arms that never let go. My child, when the light within you seems to falter in the winds of doubt, remember that I am present, neither distant nor hidden. With the slightest turning of your heart toward me, I answer with the breath of serenity. You may see the world around you, shifting familiar faces, growing strange words once sweet turning to cold blades. But do not let that make you lose faith in the goodness still dwelling deep within. Every upheaval is a testing ground to temper the soul, teaching you to look through the mist of pretense and behold the marrow of what is true. I am not only a torch upon your path, but a shoulder on which to rest when your heart grows weary. I understand every small trembling in your chest, every fear of being hurt, every longing to be loved without judgment. Thus, my words today are not only caution, but also consolation, that you may know, amidst all confusion, there is still an unseen hand holding you and never letting go. When you stand before someone about whom your heart is uncertain, do not rush to what is outward or to words woven with finesse. Let the intuition of your soul speak, for the deepest place within already knows what is right. Those who deal in falsehood often wear the garments of kindness, and only when you grow still and watchful will you discern what is true light and what is the shimmer of illusion. I want you to learn to love without blindness, to trust while remaining lucid, to give without losing yourself. True love does not ask you to trade away your peace for a fleeting sensation, and honesty will never force you to kneel before deceit. Step back when your soul throbs with warning, for that is the sign I am sending you. Not every outstretched hand is meant to lift you up. Not every smile bears goodwill. You must keep your innocence as a treasure, a gift I placed in you from the beginning. Do not fear leaving someone even if you once thought they were your whole world. Departure is not loss but release. Some bonds that seem like love are in truth only chains. Some relationships weigh the heart down, not because love is deep, but because you are straining to hold what no longer belongs to you. Let me carry you through that moment, though tears may fall and your heart may twist, because when the storm has passed, you will hear me whisper in the quiet, "You have done right." Believe that what is taken leaves space for what is better to enter. I do not want to see you worn out by half measures or by people who came only to teach a lesson and then move on. You deserve to be loved with sincerity, honored without conditions, and seen as you are without straining, without playing a part. Yet, my child, the wisdom I give is not only to keep you from what is wrong, but to move you toward the light. Be brave enough to begin again. Sow new seeds of hope, of kindness, of trust. Do not let the past imprison you in the fear of repetition. Only when you dare to open your heart can I bring what is good nearer. I do not promise the road will be smooth, but I promise you will never be alone. With each step you take and every choice you make, I am there like a soft wind lifting your sail, like a faint music when night descends. You do not see me, but I see you every glance, every breath, every hidden tear. And I love it all, for these very things make you human, fragile yet courageous, wounded, yet still daring to love. When you pray, do not only plead, speak with me as with a most intimate friend. Tell me what you have told no one, for I understand without condemning. Every word you speak in sincerity is a cord that binds us. I listen not only with ears, but with the whole universe. I see what you do not say. I know what you try to hide. And when you are silent, I still hear the echo of your heart. You need no elaborate rite, only a true heart. For real prayer is not in phrasing, but in the communion between the soul and pure love. Pray for strength, not only for escape from suffering, for suffering too is a path by which I shape you into one more strong, more deep, and more compassionate. Beloved child, do not forget that true power does not come from a loud voice, but from a heart that keeps stillness amid tumult. When others shout, you need only smile. When the world mocks, you need only walk on. With every step you prove that my light within you cannot be extinguished. The peace you carry is the mightiest weapon against the darkness. I know you will sometimes feel lost in a world too noisy and untrue, but that is because your soul belongs to what is deeper, truer, purer. You do not belong to the crowd, you belong to the light. And that light, this is I, this is you, the union of love and truth. Do not let familiarity lull you to sleep, making you afraid to change. Comfort is not always good. Often it is the snare that keeps you within small limits. Step out and let yourself grow, even if you must face the strange and the fearful. Each new step is a testament that you choose to trust me and the journey I have set before you. I never place you where you cannot prevail. Every trial has its reason, and every pain bears within it the seed of awakening. Let pain teach you compassion, let loss teach you gratitude, let solitude teach you to return to yourself. When you learn these things, you will see I am not far, I am the inmost part of your heart. My child, I grant you discernment not so that you may doubt everything, but so you may see life with the eyes of wisdom. Do not judge in haste, yet do not believe blindly. Watch, listen, and let a heart made luminous lead the way. When you trust my guidance, you will see all things arrange themselves in a perfect order. Though the road may wind, the end is good. Learn to notice the signs, sometimes only a passing intuition, a strange dream, or an unlikely coincidence. Each is a way I speak to you. You need only to listen and to act. Believe that nothing in this life is random. There are only messages I send in forms you can understand. At last, precious soul, remember, you were not born to dwell in fear, but to live in the light of love. Let compassion lead you. Let forgiveness set you free. Do not imprison yourself in resentment. Do not feed bitterness, for these only burden you more. Forgive not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. When you release, I will lift you up, and the world around you will change. Everything begins within you, in the instant you choose light over shadow. Walk on, child of light, sure that I am at your side in every breath and every heartbeat. I am the warmth in the cold, the dawn after the long night, the life within you. And if you only remember, if you only believe, then though the world may reel, your soul will stand firm like a mountain in the wind. I want you to understand that each word I speak is not merely a reminder, but a beam of light piercing the darkness that hems your soul. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart rests within my providence. There is not a single moment when my gaze turns away from you. When you feel lost alone at fearful crossroads, it is not because I have left, but because you have momentarily forgotten the gentle presence I am always sending. Pause, listen to your own breath, for there I am whispering. I do not only want you rescued from danger, I want you to live, truly live in peace, in trust in the light of truth this world keeps trying to conceal. Do not let the noise out there drown the warm voice of the soul within. This voice is mine, waiting patiently for your reply. When the storm rises, do not be quick to fear. As the sky is not forever overcast, your heart will grow clear again when my light pours through. I know your weariness. I know the wounds that have not yet healed, but it is through those very cracks that my light enters to heal and to warm. Do not flee your feelings. Do not hide your tears. They do not make you weak. They make you real, letting you touch the deep place I am calling by name. When you kneel in despair, remember, that is when I bend closest to raise you up. Not to make you forget the pain, but to show you that even pain has worth, for it teaches you to love more, to cherish peace more, and to know that everything has its reason to be. I do not promise an easy road, but I promise to take your hand around every bend. I will help you perceive what ordinary eyes cannot see, the small signs that carry great meaning. It may be the glance of a stranger, a passing breeze, or an accidental word. Any of these may be my way of saying, "Take heart, I am here." When you are afraid, do not force yourself to be hard. Simply call my name, breathe out in quiet trust, and you will see that strength is not the absence of fear, but the knowledge of who walks with you within it. People will try to veil the truth, cloaking themselves in layers of deceit and pretense to lead you astray. But I, with the light of truth, will help you see through it all. You will realize that what is truly frightening is not the darkness outside, but a heart that loses the power to tell light from dark. Keep your heart clean. Let neither greed nor anger nor pride blur your sight. When you choose to follow my call, you will know that nothing can harm you while you are held in the arms of love. This world will bring more trials. Those you thought were friends may turn away. Places you deemed safe may crumble. Yet do not be alarmed, for true refuge is not in walls or roofs, but in the steadfast trust of the heart. When you keep yourself bound to me, no force can tear us apart. Pray not to avoid the tempest, but to stand firm within it. Ask for wisdom reveals the narrow path through the great maze. Ask for peace is the strongest weapon against chaos. I am not far away. I am within each beat of your heart, in every pause you take to ponder and every choice you make. When you choose what is right, though it is hard, I smile. When you fall, yet refuse to give up, I open my arms. When you love, even while wounded, I am in that love. Do not think I appear only when you pray. I am there, and your silence is there, even when you do not know what you need. Trust that though you may not yet understand, everything unfolding belongs to a larger, deeper design woven from my inexhaustible love. Do not delay any longer, for time does not wait. Some warnings arrive like a final bell, not to threaten but to awaken. You have heard my voice many times within, gentle yet unwavering, calling you away from danger, away from those who can harm your soul. Do not ignore that intuition, for it is how I speak to you. That person may stand very near, but do not let nearness deceive you, for not everyone beside you is sincere. Let me guide you to discern what is true light and what is only a mirage. I do not wish you to live afraid. I want you to live awake, so that even when you walk through night, you know with certainty there is a light leading you on. I know how much you have endured, how at times you thought you could not stand, and it was in those very moments that I held you up. You did not see because your eyes were fixed upon your wounds, but if you look back, you will recognize that each time you did not break it was because my unseen hand steadied you. I do not promise to keep all pain away, but I promise that no pain is wasted. Every wound, every loss is shaping a soul stronger, deeper, and more able to love. Remember, my love for you is unconditional. It does not depend on success or failure, on right or wrong. It simply is like the sun that shines, though dark clouds gather, like a river that keeps flowing, though rocks bar the way. That love never runs dry, never changes, and the moment you open your heart, it will pour in with strength, courage, and healing. Believe this, for faith is the key that opens the door to peace. When you believe, things will gradually grow clear, and the bends in the road will reveal their line. Keep your soul tender. Do not let bitterness harden it, nor let doubt veil the light in your eyes. As long as you can feel, as long as you can be moved by small and simple things, you are living in my love. Each time you forgive, you widen your heart to receive blessing. Each time you choose love over hate, you step closer to the light. And when you choose peace over chaos, you walk straight into my embrace. I do not ask you to be perfect. I ask you to be honest with yourself. Live true to your heart, your faith, your dreams. Do not fear mistakes, for it is through stumbles that you learn to stand more firmly. In every step I am beside you, quiet but never far. Do not forget you belong to me, and nothing, neither fear nor disappointment nor shadow, can separate you from that love. Therefore be awake, be steadfast in prayer, and hold fast to faith. Though the world may shift and the hearts of people change, I remain an unfading source of light. You need only believe. Keep that faith as a lamp in the night, and I will lead you through every storm. peace is not far away. It dwells within you where I am, where nothing can wound your soul. Let my light illumine every corner within. Drive out all fear, and you will see that in the end there is only love, only peace, and only me forever with you. Beloved child whose soul is maturing through each scar of life, listen deeply to what I will confide, not as rigid admonition, but as the whisper of a heart that has passed through crossroads of pain. You too will one day face. Know this, the world holds not only gentle light, but also the quiet shadows of the human heart. Some will draw near clothed in affection, speaking sweet words and offering embraces that seem warm, yet beneath them lie hollows of suspicion, calculation, and the fear of being hurt so keen that they choose to hurt others first to protect themselves. Do not resent them nor ask why the world is so unfair. For within such collisions you learn to see through surfaces, to discern what is true and what is false, what is the light itself, and what is only a reflection cast by illusions of the heart. At times you will be betrayed, deceived, wounded by those you once believed would hold your hand to the end. Then your heart may feel shattered, gripped by darkness. But child, do not let that pain turn you bitter or cold. Let it refine you, making you deeper, kinder, wiser. Betrayal is not the final period. It is a mirror in which you can examine how you trust, how you love, and how you place your heart in another's hands. I have watched many souls fracture and lose faith, no longer daring to open after many breaks. But you must be different. Know that faith is not a gift others bestow on you. It is a sacred flame within, kindled by your own courage and sincerity. Some betray not from malice, but from weakness. They fear loss so much that they choose the shortest road to escape the truth. They think falsehood can shield them, that a fabricated word can save the fragile peace within. But whatever is built on lies is a sandcastle before the storm destined to fall. When it does, they themselves are imprisoned by fear and regret. So when someone hurts you, look on them with understanding, rather than hatred, for only compassion can heal the wound in you and in them. Forgiveness is not approval of the wrong, it is the return of freedom to your own heart. Understand that a person's heart is measured less by words than by deeds in quiet hours. Some mouths speak love yet leave you when you stumble. Others never say they love you yet stand behind you and lift you when you fall. Learn to sense with the heart instead of listening only with the ear. Words can deceive. Sincerity cannot be forged. Remember that every person you meet bears a lesson. The deceiver teaches vigilance. The truthful one teaches trust. The traitor teaches strength. And the one who stays teaches the worth of fidelity. When you are hurt, do not rush to forget, for pain is part of the journey into maturity. Let it flow through you like a river. In time, it will wash away the silt in your soul and leave a still lake of understanding. Do not let ugly memories rob you of faith in beauty. There are still good people, still true affection, still hearts pure enough to love without calculation. Yet to meet them you must pass through fog-dim crossroads and learn to find light even when darkness gathers round. My child, integrity is the most precious thing you can guard to the end of your days. In a world crowded with falsehood, those who dare to live truthfully are the strongest. Even if you lose everything, if you keep straightness in your heart, you still possess all. Truth may wound, yet it is the ground on which a steady life is built. Do not fear to speak it, even if it costs you companions, for those who remain, when truth stands clear, are the ones worthy of your love. Remember, truth needs no clamor. It endures like a stream cutting through rock, like a small flame that refuses to die in the long night. Believe that all things happen with a hidden purpose. The one who betrays you today may be the one who makes you stronger tomorrow. Today's pain may be the soil from which tomorrow's flower of mercy blooms. Do not flee what frightens you, for only in facing it do you pass through it. Growth does not come from dodging sorrow, but from learning to smile within it and to find light within the dark itself. I want you to learn equanimity before every change. Do not let your heart be swept into the whirl of anger or resentment. Let it be like the surface of an autumn lake. If someone casts a stone, it ripples for a moment, then returns to calm. That is true strength, not the absence of hurt, but peace in the midst of hurt. Live with integrity though the world around you feigns. Keep a compassionate heart though many choose coldness for defense. You cannot change another's heart, but you can keep your own clear, and that is life's greatest victory. My child, walk the path of light, even when you must cross the dark. Love though you have been wounded. Trust though your trust has been betrayed. Only those who dare to love, to trust, and to face loss truly know how to live. And remember, every wound will heal, and what remains in you will be wisdom and compassion. Then you will see that all who came and went were benefactors. Some taught you to trust, some to doubt, some to laugh, and some to know the taste of tears. Together, they have carved the person you are today. At last, my beloved, engrave this upon your heart. Do not let it turn to stone because a few failed to cherish it. Keep it supple like new grass that bows to the wind yet rises after the storm. Live with unfeigned honesty and kindness, for only then are you truly free. Freedom is not that no one can hurt you, but that nothing can make you betray the goodness within. Walk through this world with eyes wide open, with a bright heart, and with the conviction that though deception abounds, the light of truth will always shine first and foremost within you. My beloved child, I want you to etch this deep within your heart. Betrayal never defines your worth. It only exposes the nature and the shadows in the betrayer's soul. When someone hurts, you know that you are not the cause of their fall. They are merely reflecting the fracture within themselves, the shards of a soul, yet unhealed, the forgotten fears of being abandoned or unloved that they have not the courage to face. Some betray not out of hatred but out of weakness, a dimness of perception, unaware that they are sowing bitter seed. They may imagine they are doing good, that their actions will help you, but because their hearts are not yet clear, that good intention turns into a sharp sword cutting into another's chest. Do not resent them, for resentment only binds you with heavier chains. Look upon them with the eyes of one who understands that every person is a student on the journey of learning to love and maturing in the light. There are times when betrayal wears a gentle face, speaks words light as wind, and carries a gaze that seems sincere. Yet when the storm arrives, they are the first to let go. Do not let that sugary falsehood lull you into confusion. In this life, not everyone who holds your hand is true. Not everyone who smiles bears goodwill. The wisdom you must learn is the capacity to discern between love and the appearance of love, between the deed and the motive. Someone may offer you a precious gift while hiding a blade of calculation within it. Another may speak harshly, yet in truth wishes to awaken you. Therefore, do not hastily trust everything you see. Allow your once wounded heart to learn how to feel the true energy of the one before you. At times, your soul will know before your reason who is genuine and who is counterfeit, who comes to walk beside you, and who comes to teach you the lesson of departure. Betrayal, whatever form it takes, is a flame that tests your endurance and your faith. It comes to polish you until you shine brighter, grow stronger, and deepen in your humanity. I know there are moments when the pain is so great you cannot breathe. When your heart feels torn in two, your trust collapses, and you ask, "Why me?" But understand this: I allow it not to bring you down, but to free you from illusion. Without such falls, you would go on believing in the surface of goodness, placing your trust in the wrong places, and your heart would remain bound to those unworthy of it. Disappointment in a betrayer is less frightening than losing yourself to bitterness. Let your pain become a torch, lighting the path ahead instead of a shackle imprisoning your spirit. You must understand, the more radiant the light, the more the darkness seeks to cover it. When you carry my light and my gifts within you, you become a mirror that makes others see their own lack. That light unintentionally reveals the hidden corners they tried to conceal. Instead of choosing to shine with you, they prefer to snuff out that light to feel more comfortable. That is why you are envied, maligned, and betrayed by the very ones you once loved. They do not hate you because you are bad. They resent you because you make them feel insufficient. You become a mirror in which they see their unhealed wounds, and instead of healing, they choose denial. But do not let that make you shrink yourself. Do not let another's darkness cause you to doubt your own light. I know your heart once overflowed with trust. You loved with utter sincerity. You gave your faith without calculation, and because of that, betrayal cut even deeper. Yet I tell you that very innocence is a treasure. Let no one steal it from you. Do not allow hurt to turn you bitter or to lock your heart away. Keep your heart soft and learn also to guard it with clarity. Love without blindness, trust without naivety. This is the lesson of one who has walked through betrayal and kept an unbroken soul. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means choosing not to let the past continue to bind the future. When you forgive, you are not excusing their wrongs. You are releasing yourself from the burden of resentment. On this journey, you will encounter many kinds of betrayal from friends, from family, even from those you once considered part of your very self, each time treated as a mirror to show you what within still needs healing. Perhaps it is the fear of being abandoned, the hunger for recognition, or the belief that you must please others to be loved. When you understand the root, you will no longer be hurt as before. Then betrayal ceases to be a blade and becomes the unseen hand that nudges you closer to your truest self. You will realize that no one can truly betray you unless you first betray yourself. When you forget your worth, deny your intuition, or stay silent, though your heart knows what is wrong. Learn to behold every event with the eyes of the soul, not merely the flesh. When someone turns away, it may be that they are fulfilling the very role the universe assigned. They came to teach you lessons about limits, trust, and self-respect. At times, their betrayal is itself the gift that helps you grow. Choose your companions wisely. Keep healthy boundaries and love without attachment. Thus, instead of asking, "Why did they betray me?" ask, "What am I meant to learn from this betrayal?" When you view all things in the light of awareness, you will see there are no true enemies, only those playing difficult roles to help you. Awaken. One day you will thank even those who wounded you, not because you are weak, but because through them you discovered how great your strength can be. Through them you learned to stand when everything collapsed. Through them you came to cherish the value of loyalty, sincerity, and true peace. Unwittingly, they became the catalyst by which you turned sorrow into wisdom and tears into light. Therefore, do not hate them nor strive to prove anything. Light does not argue with darkness. It merely continues to shine. So too with you, simply live beautifully, live rightly, live truly. This is the most powerful answer to every betrayal. I know there are times you will grow weary and wonder whether goodness still has a place in a world so rife with deceit. But remember, this world does not require you to be perfect, only to be true. Though others may deceive, you can keep a pure heart without being weak. Be compassionate without being exploited, and love while preserving your essence. Precisely when you are betrayed, you have the chance to prove that you are not defined by others' actions but by your own courage. Do not let pain extinguish the light within you, for that light is the gift I set in your heart from the very beginning. And when you are strong enough, bright enough, and understanding enough, you will look back and smile. You will realize that no one truly harmed you. They only helped you become steadier, deeper, and closer to me. Betrayal is but a passing shower on a long journey. It may drench you, but it also washes away the dust of illusion. After each rainfall, your soul grows clearer, and the sun shines more brilliantly than ever. Let every wound become a halo, let every pain be a step toward peace. For in the end, you will understand no betrayer can truly steal your peace unless you yourself let go of your own light. This world is complex by nature, and behind smiles that seem friendly, there can dwell intricate designs, masks, skillfully coated with sweet words and courteous gestures. You must learn to see beneath the surface, to perceive with a wakeful heart, rather than trust only what eyes and ears report. Some approach you with a show of kindness and speak words that appear caring, yet at the core of their intent is self-gain. They may test you, lead you into moments of self-doubt, confusion, and the belief that only by obeying them will you find peace. But my child, do not be quick to believe. Not everyone who smiles at you truly wants what is good for you. Life teaches us that true light is often humble and quiet, while pretense loves to dazzle. What matters is learning to listen to the voice within, for that is the wisdom I have placed in your soul, a lamp to guide you through the night of human hearts. When the world is fog between right and wrong, when sweet words make you waver, it is intuition, my sacred gift that will whisper what is true and what is false, who is a friend and who has only come to take your light. Do not fear the loneliness that can come from stepping away from toxic ties. Loneliness in the light is safer than standing in a crowd where your soul is strangled by deceit. I know there will be times you feel tired and doubt your own perception, but remember that every trial is permitted to sharpen your spiritual sight. Those who come to test you do not appear by chance. They are mirrors showing you what in you remains fragile, what needs healing and firmer ground. When you learn to distinguish true from false, good from evil, your soul will no longer be swayed by pretense. Your strength does not lie in defeating them, but in keeping your heart clear amid every scheme. They may speak in ways that make you distrust yourself. They may pressure you to act against your beliefs and values, but pause before you let yourself be carried along. Whenever unease creeps in, know it is the signal I send. Trust that feeling. Do not dismiss it, for it is the fence that guards you from harm. Some counsel sounds perfectly reasonable, yet makes your soul shrink. Some glances seem gentle, yet conceal the urge to possess. Do not fear to refuse. Do not fear being misunderstood, for no one can fully grasp your path but me. I see each step you take, every moment you wrestle between good and evil, faith and doubt. Though the world may change, and hearts may deceive, my shelter over you does not diminish. Let me lead you along life's winding paths and away from trap-laden turns, for once you learn to listen, you will feel each gentle guidance like the wind, each prompting that seems invisible yet saves you from sorrow. At times you will not understand why I allow a door to close or a cherished bond to dissolve, but in time you will see it was all protection. I never take from you what you truly need. I only remove what could cause you to lose yourself. If you choose to listen, you will walk in peace, a peace not born of the absence of storms, but of knowing you are held even in the midst of them. But if you are stubborn and trust honeyed words, you will set your own feet upon a path of pain, a path that could have been avoided. I do not wish to see you collapse because your trust was misplaced, nor watch your heart shatter because you believed in those who cared only for themselves. Believe that you are not alone. Even if all turn away, my light remains within you, waiting for you to call its name. When your soul learns to be still and to listen, you will realize there is no need to prove anything, no need to fear betrayal, for no one can truly harm you if you stand within my embrace. Every wound that once made you bleed can become a radiant scar, reminding you of each rescue, each lesson in trust and awakening. Let every trial become a chance for you to grow, not a reason to lose faith in people. I want you to learn to love without naivety, to trust without blindness, to open your heart while staying awake. When you can do that, you will no longer fear falsehood, because the true light within you is strong enough to illumine every shadow. And then one day when you look back, you will smile and see that those who once tried to push you into the abyss unwittingly helped you stand steadier on the summit of your own life. You need not hate them nor seek revenge. It is enough to be grateful, for through them you learned the worth of honesty and the power of keeping yourself clean. This world may turn and hearts may change, but truth does not. As long as you remain in the light, no force can harm your soul. That is what I want you to engrave upon your heart. Not everyone who is friendly is trustworthy. Not everyone who smiles bears goodwill, and yet you need not be afraid, for as long as you can hear my voice within you, are safely guided. Peace does not come from avoiding every risk, but from knowing you are held fast by the unseen yet steadfast hands of my love. Once you truly trust that every storm outside becomes only a passing wind, and you, the child of light, will walk the world steady-footed, with a heart both strong and gentle, able to love and to discern, so that no one can make you lose yourself again. Child, when your heart trembles beneath the warmth of a hand, remember that true love keeps its eyes open, seeing through the fine mist of infatuation, to recognize what nourishes and what corrodes. I do not come to interrogate or condemn. I come to lay a mantle of peace upon your shoulders and place a lamp of understanding in your hands, so you can light up hairline cracks that, if ignored, will become deep fractures tomorrow. The one before you is not an enemy line, not a target to conquer, not the only lifebuoy in a lonely sea. They are simply a person, beautiful, flawed, changing. And from that very truth, you must learn to stand upright in your own dignity, neither bowing to the gusts of flattery nor collapsing before cold indifference. Listen to the small signals your intuition has touched. A comment that makes your skin prickle, though the surface seems smooth. A moment of avoidance when you needed them to stay. A promise that slips away with the hours, a silence too long. After a burst of early warmth. Do not rush to turn these into a verdict, but do not sugarcoat them and pretend not to see. True kindness is not credulity, and genuine forgiveness is not the same as compromising until your essence is worn thin. You have the right to say enough, to draw a clear line between what lifts you up and what drags you down, between acceptance and the enabling of wounds to repeat without end. Practice speaking in a calm but steady voice. This is what I need. This is the pace at which I feel safe. If you respect me, let us keep this rhythm. If you cannot, I will choose quiet to heal. The moment you define your own borders, you open a clear sky where both may grow. Forgiveness is a good seed, but every seed needs soil, water, and light that is visible, change, proven effort and time, enough for an old habit to be dismantled and a new one to take root. Do not hand over the keys to your heart just because you heard apologies lovely as verse, and do not bind yourself with guilt. When you say not yet for postponement is not a refusal to love, it is a refusal to be blind. I walk beside you not to control you, but to whisper gently whenever you mistake a spark for the sun, whenever you bend lower than a healthy heart should, in order to keep a bond from breaking, whenever you forget that the first one you must protect is the tender part within. Affection, if not tended by awareness, easily becomes a maze where the seeker of a way out only spins themselves dizzy. Therefore, each day pause for a few minutes and ask, does this make me blossom or only make me small? Am I being listened to or merely demanded from? With this person, do I still feel like myself, or must I become a more convenient version for someone else? These questions are not to pick apart, but to safeguard the truth. For truth is the only foundation that withstands storms. If the answer's warm, you keep nurturing. If the answer's chill, you rekindle your inner fire. Warm yourself with faithful friends, with meaningful work, with hours alone that are not lonely. Do not use a relationship as a cloth to hide the cracks within, For every cloth grows thin, only inner adjustment endures. When you set a boundary, do not think of it as a wall. See it as a fence with a gate opening to those who knock softly, closing against harsh winds. Those who respect you will learn to touch lightly, while those who only know how to demand will find themselves outside until they can act with reverence. In either case, you do not need to prove yourself. You only need to be consistent. Do not fear loss, for what must leave will leave, and what belongs to you will find its way back in a truer form. Do not fear solitude either, for solitude is sometimes the golden hour in which you meet yourself again, hear the quiet voice of intuition, and polish the mirror of self-respect dulled by habit and expectation. I know you grow weary from watching tiny details, reading the shades behind a smile, arranging your words to be sincere without diminishing yourself. Yet this very sensitivity is the compass that keeps you from the sharp rocks. Make it a habit to notice today they kept their word. Today they apologized on their own instead of justifying. Today they asked how you felt before setting the schedule. Today they slowed down to walk with you. Such simple changes are the seeds of trust, and if there are only grand speeches while actions are hollow, let the wind carry those words away. Trust is a tall tree whose roots grow downward through countless small acts repeated. Love is a long road, and along a long road we are sustained, not by fireworks, but by a steady lamp, a warm meal, a hand that withdraws when it finds a wound, and eyes that choose to listen rather than to stare and judge. Also, look within, for sometimes the darkness does not come from others, but from the habit of overcomplicating, from the fear of abandonment that makes us accept what we should not, from the Savior's illusion that we can change someone by enduring more. You cannot save a person gripping arguments to dodge responsibility. You can only share light and stand ready across the bridge if they choose to cross. If they cling to the old loop, choose kindness toward yourself and leave in quiet. Do not rush to hate. Do not rush to idolize. Walk with even breaths, letting each step land upon the firm ground of self-respect. You will meet flat days, long nights, mornings when your heart feels hollow, but remember, I am standing at the edge of the light. Invite me, and together we will draw the curtains, open the door, listen to the birds, and let the first sun soothe you. You are neither abandoned nor forced to fight alone, for your every subtle movement lies within my care. At times, you will wonder why I do not intervene at once, why I let you stumble, but some lessons cannot be learned by theory. They need the imprint of experience, a measure of falling, so the muscles of the soul may be trained. I remain so that when you look up, you find a point of rest. When you are wet, you have a place to dry. Life will teach you endurance, and love, when healthy, will teach you gentleness. Trust that today's tangles are quietly opening tomorrow's path, and that each time you dare to speak your need, you raise the worth of your heart, not to claim privilege, but to give the other the chance to see the measure of their own maturity. If they receive it, you will glimpse the smile of harmony. If they bristle, you will recognize the old pattern reappearing. In any case, understanding sets you free. Freedom brings you peace. Peace lets you love without losing yourself. One day when you look back, you will know why I urged you to go slowly, because going slowly lets truth walk beside you instead of being left behind. You will see that the moment you dared to set a guardrail was not when love died, but when it first had air to breathe. Then you will no longer fear being alone, for you have befriended yourself. You will no longer fear mistakes, for mistakes cannot destroy one who knows how to make them right. And you will be grateful even to those who hurt you, for they led you unwittingly into rooms you would never have opened without pain. On this journey, I always lean my shoulder beneath your load when your legs tremble. I lay in your heart the art of balance between trust and wakefulness, nearness and distance, softness and strength. Thus, day by day, you will build a house within a house, whose eaves are boundaries, whose windows are listening, whose hearth is compassion, whose table is honest speech, whose bed is rest without remorse. And those who are worthy will enter, remove their shoes, wash their hands, and sit as family. Those who only burst in with noise, you will invite onto the porch where the wind carries clamor away. Smile, for you are not closing your doors to the world. You are opening them with intention. You are not fencing others out. You are protecting the garden you have labored to tend. I see every flower you patiently care for. I hear the soil within you pushing out new roots. I understand the nights you lose sleep to seek an answer. And I say to you once more in a voice without heaviness, you are beloved, not because you tolerate well, but because you are you. Keep that gentle clarity as you would a candle in the wind, shielding without smothering, serene without surrender. When you know how to kindle the inner flame, every outer storm becomes only the weather's song. And when you trust that kindness has ears and courage has eyes, you will choose a companion wisely, one willing to learn, willing to slow down, willing to take their share of responsibility. As for me, I am still here walking at your side, asking for no credit, only hoping to see your steps grow steadier, your eyes grow brighter, and your heart still soft, no longer so easily broken. Even so, my beloved child, I want you to carve into your heart one thing that never changes. No one, no matter how powerful or how cruel, can take from you what I myself have placed in your hands. Your soul, the precious gem of creation, remains wrapped in the sacred light I set around you from the beginning. Your core, your dignity, the pristine essence within you, no betrayal and no wound can stain it. The world may trip you, bruise you, make your heart bleed, but deep within that inviolable light, you remain whole, as pure as the morning dew. I want you to remember this, for there will come a time amid ruins and losses when you think you have lost everything. But no, you have shed only outer shells. Your soul, the deepest part of you, still shines as it did at first. When you are betrayed, when someone you once trusted turns away, the world will seem to collapse. You will ask why. You will torment yourself, doubt your own goodness, fear the very love that once opened your heart. But I say to you, do not let another's actions decide your worth. Do not let their treachery seal your heart, for your heart was born to love, not to stand guard forever. True love does not vanish when betrayed. It learns to love more wisely, to stop where it is not welcomed, and to protect itself from unworthy hands. There are those who betray not from hatred but from selfishness. They do not think far or see deep. They chase the satisfaction of the moment. Like the thirsty in a desert, they mistake a mirage for a spring and run after it, wounding others in their delirium. They do not pause to look into your eyes to see the pain there, for their hearts are crowded with schemes and ambition. They do not recognize the priceless gift you offered, your trust, your sincerity, a part of your soul, so they trample it without a pang. But child, their ignorance cannot dim your light. On the contrary, in that very pain your light grows clearer and stronger, because you have loved without calculation and trusted without reserve, and that makes you more beautiful than any who would exploit such love. There are people in this world who seem to glitter, yet are hollow within. They live by taking from others, trust kindness, joy, trying to fill the bottomless void inside themselves. You need not hate them, for hatred only binds you to pain. See them as the unawakened souls still wandering. They do not know that in betraying they are losing their own light and straying from the true source of life. As for you, if you keep compassion and remain awake, you have already risen above them, not by power but by the altitude of your soul. My child, I know there will be moments when you want to shut the door of trust. You will tell yourself, no one is worthy. But remember, you cannot live truly if you lose faith in goodness. Not everyone betrays, not everyone takes advantage. Though this world holds much darkness, many candles, still burn. You need only learn discernment, who can walk with you, and who is but a passerby on your path of learning. Discernment is not suspicion. It is seeing with the eyes of the soul, feeling with the intuition I have given you. When you learn this, you will no longer fear being hurt for you. Will know how to place your heart where it belongs. Betrayal is not a full stop. It is a profound lesson about the limits of trust and the worth of the self. It does not kill the power to love. It refines it so that your love becomes purer and wiser. You will see that to love does not mean to give away everything, but to keep safe the untouchable core, the place where I dwell in you. When you hold fast to that center, you can love without fear of losing and give without fear of running dry. I want you to cling to this truth as to a pillar of light. In the night you always have value, not because others affirm or deny it, but because I have engraved your name into existence with undying love. When you are belittled, do not shrink yourself to gain acceptance. When you are hurt, remember that the wound lies in body and mind. Your soul remains intact. That is ground. No one can invade the home you can return to whenever the world grows too harsh. Remember, your faith should not rest in people, for people are fragile, but in my love and wisdom. When you trust in me, you will never truly collapse, for the outer things may crack, but the inner foundation stands firm as rock. You may lose a relationship, a person, even things you once thought indispensable, but you will never lose yourself. Each loss seen through spiritual eyes is a birth. It peels away an old shell so you may become a deeper, stronger version of yourself. You may think yourself foolish for having trusted the wrong person, but no, this trust is never wrong. The only mistake is leaving it in the wrong place for too long. Those who hurt you simply teach you how precious trust is, and that not all deserve it. Be grateful to them not for what they did, but because through them you learned wisdom. From those betrayals you come to know what honesty is and what true love is. And then one day when you look back, you will no longer resent. You will see your own growth, your steadiness, and a heart that, though once shattered, still knows how to love now with clarity. That is the greatest victory proof of the strength I placed within you. I did not create you to live in fear, but to learn to love without losing yourself. Therefore, no matter who hurts you, never let them define who you are. They can touch only the surface. Your soul stands firm beneath my hand. You are light, you are love, you are my continuance in this world. No lie can extinguish that. Lift your head, child, and walk with your dignity intact. Let the betrayers pass like wind across the fields, for you were not born to chase the wind, but to rise with the light. And when you understand this, when you can smile through pain, not out of numbness, but because you have found meaning, then you are truly free. You need prove nothing, demand no recompense, for justice already rests in my hands. Your task is to keep your heart clear, guard your soul's wholeness, and go on loving this time with opened eyes and a wise heart. For I am with you, and no one, nothing can take from you what my love itself has given. My beloved child, today I tell you this, with all the sincerity and wisdom of my heart. Trust is a sacred gift, but also a double-edged blade that can wound the soul if you do not place it rightly. Blind trust is like walking in the deep night without a lamp. One wrong turn, and you may fall into the abyss. To place your whole heart in the hands of one whose nature you do not yet know is to entrust your life to a rushing river. One careless moment, and you may be swept under. Yet, child, I do not say this to make you close your heart, to turn you cold or fearful of people, but so that you may understand, true trust does not arise from naivety, but from clarity. You need not doubt everyone. You need only learn to observe, to listen, to discern what is true and what is false, who comes to lift you up and who comes to test your heart. Trust, my child, is not a coin to be tossed at random, but a pearl polished by time and experience. Watch how a person acts when no one is watching, for there their true nature is revealed. Sweet words can conceal deceit, but conduct and bearing are the mirror of the soul. See how they treat the weaker ones, those who can offer them nothing that is the measure of character. Someone may say they love you and promise you the world, but if they do not honor and keep their word that love is only a phantom, do not let your heart be lulled by honeyed speech. Let me teach you. Trust need not be given at once. It must be built, tended little by little with sincerity, consistency, and time. I know there are those who enter your life and win your trust, then turn away, leaving a wound slow to heal. But child, not all betrayal is born of malice. Some betray out of greed, some out of fear, and some because they are too weak to face the truth. They fear their own frailty being seen. They fear that if they bare their hearts, they will be hurt, and in that fear they choose to hurt others first to keep themselves safe. They lie not to destroy, but because they lack the courage to be honest. They hide what is true not from evil intent, but because they fear truth will cost them what they cling to. They leave when you need them most, not because they do not know it, but because they fear they are not strong enough to stay. I say this so you understand that trust is not an unconditional giving, but the art of wakefulness. Do not let your kindness become the blade that makes you bleed. Open your heart, but do not be blind. Love, but do not forget your self-respect. Trust, but only when that trust is proven in deeds. True trust is like an ancient tree. It does not spring up after one rain, but is nourished through scorching suns and storms. When you learn to plant that tree, you also learn to protect yourself from those who would only come to pick its fruit without tending its roots. Remember this as well. There are those who speak fair words, but their eyes are dim and their smiles untrue. Let your spirit read the energy within their speech. The soul can sense what the mind has not yet understood. If you feel even a fleeting unease, do not dismiss it, for it may be my whisper of warning. At times, the silence between two people speaks more than 1,000 conversations. You need not be anxious. Simply listen with an open soul and trust the guidance I have placed within you. When you know how to trust your intuition, you will not be easily led astray. I also want you to understand that forgiveness and vigilance are not opposites. Forgiveness is for the peace of your heart, while vigilance keeps you from further hurt. Learn to release resentment without losing the lesson it brought. Every wound has its own worth. It teaches you to see more deeply, feel more fully, and be more grateful for those who are sincere. The one who hurt you is in truth helping you grow steadier and clearer. So you need not regret and need not complain. Simply keep walking with a heart that has learned to behold light and shadow at the same time. Faith, my child, is not only something you give to others, it is also faith in yourself. When you do not trust your own being, you are easily led, easily controlled, and easily hand over the power to decide your happiness. Believe that you are strong enough to overcome, discerning enough to tell right from wrong, and worthy enough to be loved in the right way. When you trust the light within you, you will no longer fear betrayal, for even if anyone leaves you, still have yourself, and I am still here. Trust that I will never let you be lost. Sometimes I simply let you walk on your own so you may see that my light has long been in your heart. Love, my child, but do not lose your clarity. Trust, but do not forget to observe. Give, but remember to keep a portion for yourself. That portion is your peace. No one is so deserving that you must trade the stillness of your soul to keep them. Let your kindness be a source of light, and let wisdom be the lamp that guards it. When you balance loving and understanding, trusting and awakening, you will walk this life with steadfastness, and no one will be able to make you fall. I tell you all this not to make you fear people, but to help you know that in a world of constant change, only those who see with the eyes of the heart can find their way to peace. Trust is the bridge that connects you with the world, but it must be built from the sturdy timber of wisdom and compassion, not from illusion and naivete. Let us build that bridge together, brick by brick, breath by breath, so that even if the world shifts, you still stand firm in every storm. And when you meet someone who makes you want to trust, once more do not be afraid. Smile, but slow your steps. Watch them when they have no need to perform. Listen for the things they do not say. Look to see whether they keep their word, whether they know how to love, whether they respect themselves. For one who does not love themselves will sooner or later be unable to keep another's love. Let the trust you give be a precious gift, not a gamble. Let it be a cord that binds two souls, not a chain that fetters the heart. Therefore, my child, as you move through this life, carry trust, but let it be a trust that is lucid, steady, and placed where it is worthy. Believe in goodness, believe in love, believe in the light, yet never forget that this light begins within you. I teach you not to make you close your heart, but to help you open it with wisdom. Live, love, and trust. But remember this, never let your heart become a lamp without a wick. I am here watching you, loving you, and I will keep that light until you are strong enough to keep it yourself. What I want you to grasp deeply is this: when someone hurts you, it does not mean you are unloved or unworthy of honor. On the contrary, sometimes they are in such pain, such weakness, that they let their hurt speak for them through harsh deeds, cold words, or gestures that seem cruel. That is not their true nature, but a distorted echo of a soul struggling between light and darkness. I want you to see this, not to excuse them, but so you will not be swept into the vortex of hatred or blame. For once you allow their darkness to touch your heart, you will lose the light I placed within you from the beginning. You belong to the light. You were born to illumine, not to grow dim. The light within you is sacred, the distillation of my love and kindness, and no pain, no betrayal has the right to extinguish it. I know there are betrayals that shatter your heart. There are those you trusted completely, to whom you gave your whole faith, who turned away and chose deception when you least expected it. They were swept into the whirlpool of temptation, seductions, cunning, glittering, and sweet, that made them forget themselves. Desire seeped into their hearts like a fire that consumed honor, conscience, and fidelity. In that blaze they chased what is fleeting, mistaking it for happiness, though it was only a mirage. They do not see that what they forfeited was peace, compassion, and the worth of true love I once bestowed. Perhaps you stood in the eye of that storm, made the object of a wrong desire, the mirror that stirred their restlessness, the target they sought to possess to fill an inner void. But you must be clear and strong. Do not let yourself become an instrument for others to use, and do not let their weakness pull you down into the abyss of sin and regret. My child, stand firm. Remember that your worth does not lie in how others regard you, but in the radiant essence I placed in your soul. Even if someone despises you, betrays you, or treats you like an object, you remain a precious creation loved by me without limit. No one can diminish that worth unless you forget who you are. The world may scorn people, may be faithless, but I who formed you will never do so. I do not look upon you with eyes of judgment, but with a gaze of mercy and compassion. When you keep your heart pure, amid the mire you honor the light. When you choose kindness instead of revenge, you draw nearer to holiness. And when you forgive, even if the other never repents, you free yourself from the chains of hatred. Do not let their actions muddy your heart. They may lie and betray, but let your heart remain clear as a spring. Purity is not naivete. It is the strength of a soul unbowed. For when you keep your kindness even in pain, that is when you resemble me the most. The world is full of those adept at retaliation, but few can love through suffering. Choose the harder road, the way of compassion, of wisdom, and of faith. No one can harm you if you stand in the light of truth. Let your heart be like a rock set in the waves. Though the storms arise, it does not move. I know there are moments when you want to cry out, to ask why you were treated so unjustly, why goodness is trampled, why sincerity is betrayed. But my child, some answers are given only by time and by awakened insight. Do not hurry to judge, and do not let hatred invade your heart. Understand this: those who do harm are not truly happy. They may laugh and seem triumphant, but deep within their souls wither. Do not envy them. Have compassion on them, for the one who has lost the capacity to love is most to be pitied. Let that compassion lift you higher and make you stronger, not weaker. Learn to keep your peace in the storm. When others stab you, do not answer with a blade. Answer with silence, imbued with understanding. At times, the greatest strength is not to strike back. Leave to me what you cannot do. I will address what lies beyond your reach. You need only to keep your heart clean, your hands unstained, and your mind unclaimed by the dark. When you choose the light, I will stand with you. When you choose the truth, I will shield you from every deceit. And when you choose love, I will turn your pain into wings that lift you up. Those who betrayed you will in time learn the cost of their choices. One day, when desire has cooled and the things they chased have dissolved, they will look back and see what they lost. When that day comes, do not gloat and do not grow bitter. Simply smile, for you have gone farther, grown stronger, and learned that true love cannot be betrayed. Only those who have not yet learned to love can betray. You have passed through suffering to understand mercy, fidelity, and love without condition, and that is the greatest victory, the triumph of a soul that loves in purity. Know this, my child: no matter how wounded you are never alone. I am there beside you, wiping your tears and whispering, "Do not be afraid." I see it all the times you tried to smile while your heart bled, the nights you lay awake because of a single word that felled you. I am there, and not one of your tears is wasted. They water the soil of the soul so that one day the flowers of peace will bloom. Then you will understand that no wound is meaningless, for it is precisely they that make you profound and teach you to love with both wisdom and compassion. My child, keep your integrity before yourself. Do not change your nature because of the faults of others. Do not dim your light because someone else lives in the dark. Remain yourself, gentle yet resolute, kind yet discerning, soft yet strong. That is how you honor me, not with grand prayers, but by living with an undivided heart. Though others betray, you can still be faithful. Though others lie, you can still be true. Though the world is harsh, you can still love. And I say to you again, do not be afraid. You are not alone on this path. I walk with you through every wind, every tear, every moment you want to collapse. I see the light in you still shining, small perhaps, but steadfast. Do not let anyone steal it. Stand firm, my child, for when you keep your light in the night, you become the living testimony of my love, a lamp for the lost, warmth for the cold of heart. And this, my child, is your mission in this world, to keep the light no matter how the darkness gathers. My beloved child, in the intricate current of human life, you will see some turn their backs not for lack of love, but because their hearts are bound by the cords of self-interest and greed. They view the world through the narrow lens of the little eye, where every relationship is weighed by profit and loss. They may call you friend, family, someone they care for, yet behind the sweet words is a cold calculation, a quiet hand counting gains and losses. When that happens, you may feel your chest tighten and your trust grow thin as a thread about to snap. But do not let such pain extinguish your inner light or cloud the clear spring of your soul. Their choices, selfish or treacherous, are never a measure of your value. They only reflect what is missing within them. When you meet people who treat friendship like a chessboard and love like a lever of control, remember, they are living in a thirst that can never be quenched. They imagine possession will make them safe and manipulation will make them strong. But my child, that is only an illusion. Power born from controlling others is always a frail power, like a candle guttering in the wind. True strength is keeping a pure heart amid the calculations of the world, loving without the need to own, giving without the need to receive. Do not fear being hurt, for every betrayal is a forging of your soul, making you steadier and wiser, able to love and also to guard your own life. Those who betray for self-interest are not victors. They are wanderers lost in the maze of greed, thinking that by grasping everything they will find happiness. But trust me, the one who hoards for himself alone will end up with nothing. Happiness does not flow from possession. It flows from the freedom of the soul, something they will never have. As for you, if you keep your integrity and know how to let go when it is time, you will hold what no wealth can equal: peace. There are betrayals that do not arise from scheming, but from insecurity. Some people see you, your light, your confidence, your sincerity, and instead of being inspired, they feel small. Jealousy is a quiet, poisonous seed that bends truth and warps affection just to soothe that inner sense of inferiority. Crushed beneath the weight of their own shadow, they betray, and they wound imagining that to bring you down is to rise higher themselves. Do not resent them, for the jealous are people tearing themselves apart. They need love but are afraid to love. They long to be seen but hide behind a mask of pride. Look on them with compassion, because the one who harms you today is suffering far more than you. When you face a betrayal born of jealousy, do not answer with anger, for anger only makes you more like them. Keep your heart bright, like a lamp that burns calmly through the storm. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. True light needs no defense. Let time bear witness, for those who live truthfully will be revealed, while the deceitful will be exposed by the darkness of their own making. I know there will be moments when you feel alone, misunderstood, betrayed, abandoned by those you once trusted. Do not treat this as the end. See it as a door opening to a new path, the path of self-possession, of clarity, of wisdom. Betrayal, if you dare to look, is a mirror that shows you what love is real and what is only a shell. It teaches you to set boundaries without losing kindness, to love while keeping your self-respect. Never let another's betrayal make you doubt your own worth. Your heart holds what is sacred, placed there by me, the light of compassion, of truthfulness, of unconditional love. No one can dim that unless you permit it. Remember, you were not born to be a victim of betrayal, but to be its witness, its learner, and the one who rises above it. Every wound, when healed, becomes a luminous scar, the mark of strength and steadfastness. Learn to see betrayal not only as a wicked act, but as an inevitable part of the journey toward truth. Because of betrayal, you learn fidelity. Because of falsehood, you prize honesty. Because of darkness, you cherish light. The one who betrays you is in fact helping you see more clearly what to keep and what to release. They teach you the limits of trust and remind you that to trust does not mean to be blind. And when you have seen this through, your heart will grow still. No more hatred, no more pain, only the quiet peace of one who understands. You will recognize that everyone walks a path of their own, some led by love, some by fear, some by calculation. In the end, each must learn their lesson, and none can escape the consequences of choice. Knowing this, you will be able to smile at those who once betrayed you, for you understand they pay not by punishment, but by the emptiness of their souls. My child, choose wisdom as your companion. Wisdom is not suspicion of all things. It is seeing people clearly without losing faith in goodness. Build firm boundaries, not to wall yourself off, but to keep your heart from being violated by another's toxicity. Such boundaries are your way of telling the world that you know you are worthy of respect and of love that asks for no unworthy trade. And finally, my child, when you meet a betrayer, do not expect them to recognize their fault at once. Do not expect instant justice, for the justice of life is measured not by immediacy, but by the cause and effect of time. Let them walk their road and learn the lessons they must learn. As for you, continue along the way of light, of truth, and of kindness. By keeping your heart pure in a world of deceit, you have already become the strongest of all. and I in silence will watch your every step, trusting that my child, though passing through many betrayals, will keep the inner light that nothing can extinguish, the light of a soul that loves without losing itself. Now, beloved child, be still and offer me the prayers that rise from the depths of your soul, not with formulas, but with the true voice of your heart, where love and faith meet. Almighty God, source of light and my steadfast refuge today, I kneel before you while my heart still carries unhealed wounds. Keep me within your light, even when this world sinks into the shadows of deceit and betrayal. When I feel weak, grant me strength. When I am hurt, grant me forgiveness. When I am surrounded by falsehood, open my eyes to your truth. Do not let me be swept into hatred or bitterness, but make my heart like a clear spring, gentle, steady, and faithful. I belong to you, O Lord. Keep me from falling into the darkness of the world, that your light may blaze within me, no matter how fierce the storm. Merciful Father, who knows the hidden depths of my soul, protect me from the temptations of the flesh and of the world. Some things arrive clothed in sweetness, yet conceal bitterness. Some people appear like light, yet carry darkness within. Grant me the eyes of wisdom to discern the true from the false, the will to stand firm against desire, and a heart pure enough to love without losing my way. When I face the temptation to betray, let me remember that true love never rests on possession. Help me to love as you love, a love that gives without demanding, remains faithful without becoming weak, and is free while wholly belonging to the good. God of overflowing mercy, I lift to you those who have betrayed me, hurt me, and brought me to tears. I do not wish to hate them, for I know they are souls lost in their own darkness. Touch them with your compassion. Help them see their wrong and find their way back to the light. Forgive them as you have forgiven me, and grant me peace when I think of them. I do not want a heart of stone. I want a heart that can still love, though it has been wounded. Give me courage to release the past, to look on them with kindness, and to let your love flow through me and dissolve all resentment. Lord, source of endless healing, I come before you with a weary soul, the cracks within me still unclosed. Touch the hidden places I cannot heal myself. Wipe away my tears, lift me from disappointment, and pour into my heart the peace that surpasses understanding. Do not let the past bind me, nor pain make me doubt love. Turn every hurt into a lesson and every brokenness into the seed of growth, so that I may love more deeply, more wisely, and more nearly to you. Gracious Father, I thank you for the boundless love I could never deserve. When I fall, you raise me. When I am weak, you still call me your beloved. Thank you for seeing me, not through my sins, but through the promise of grace. Every breath is a gift, every forgiveness a miracle. I offer my whole heart to honor that love, a love beyond all knowledge and beyond every fault, Lord of healing. I thank you for the pains that have helped me mature. In suffering I found you. In tears I discovered your mercy. Thank you for using wounds to widen my heart so I may empathize, share, and love more truly. Without darkness I would not prize the light. Without betrayal, I would not understand fidelity. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so together we can build a strong community of faith.